Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I want to advocate for making decisions quickly. When you are taking on a new job, there is, of course, a lot of things that you don't know. At the same time, putting off decisions has so many potential negative consequences that I strongly suggest you make a decision and then immediately take some kind of action on it within 24 hours. And I see it a lot with my clients, hesitating to make decisions, and for fear, of course, usually that's why we don't make a decision, is out of fear. But I really want you to think, as I go through a couple of different things I want to talk about today, think about the decisions that you are hesitating on, putting off, and think about what would be different if you decided, as soon as you get off this either video or wherever you're listening to me, if you went out and took action, what would that change? So a couple things I want to talk through, and the first one is why I think putting off decisions is a really bad idea. And making quick decisions simply builds momentum. I am a massive action taker, and I encourage all of my clients and you, my listeners, to take massive action. Because if you put off decisions, and this could be a hiring decision. Okay, I know that times are tough and there's a cost to the company, but that is one of the biggest decisions I see people put off. It could be also budgetary decisions. It could be investment decisions. It could be if you're working on your branding, or which option to present to a client. We are constantly making decisions. And when you are overthinking them, it is using up so much brain energy. So I want to talk about first why putting decisions off is a bad idea. The first one is it will create a vacuum that other people will fill. Especially if you are in a very senior position, any kind of undecided territory doesn't stay neutral for long. It doesn't stay vacant for long. Somebody else will step in, will take over. So if it is something that is important to you, please don't leave a vacuum too long, because if somebody else does step in, probably the decisions that they will make are not going to be aligned with what you want. The second reason that putting off decisions is a bad idea is it signals uncertainty. People think that it signals thoughtfulness. Well, I have to weigh all the pros and cons, make a list of pros and cons. Just keep in mind that you will never have 100% of the information available to you. Never. And you are there to make educated decisions, to use your judgment and your discernment. So, putting it off signals uncertainty, not only to you and your brain, but to those around you. It slows the organization in the company more than the decision itself. The question I get all the time is this the right decision? If you are putting off a decision because you don't know if it's the right or wrong decision, you are slowing things down and hurting the organization. I encourage you to make a decision and to prove to yourself that you made the right decision. The other point where I think that putting it off creates a bad idea is it simply increases emotional and cognitive load. And I see it with clients if they're looking to make a new hire. Sometimes the number of people that they interview and they have to go to, several different headhunters, and they have to activate their network, and they've got some great candidates, but they're never perfect. I get it, but if you are taking 6 months or 8 months or 9 months to recruit, just think how much emotional energy and cognitive load that is taking up. Right now, I'll just give you a very basic home example. Right now, I'm looking to change cars. And I've been talking about it now for about 2 weeks, between researching, contacting the dealerships. I did some test drive and negotiating the deal. My brain, that making that decision, and I'm hesitating between two things. It has so much energy and cognitive load. I'm like, geez, Karen, think about all of the other things you could be doing. So I'm going to follow my own advice. And when I get off of recording this, I'm going to be making a decision about the car. It is really impactful for you to make a decision quickly because, one, it will establish your authority and your credibility early on. That will help it. Waffling, when you take on a new job, of course, I'm not talking necessarily in the first week, but very quickly within the first month, you should be making some significant decisions. Waffling will not help you. The second reason it is very impactful because it will create momentum and it will give you confidence. And momentum is often what people need very early on when they take on a new position. So it might not be, I'm not saying come in and decide to invest millions or, it depends, but making decisions early will kind of get you in movement. It will also reduce what I'm calling here over coordination. When you think you have to reach out and get alignment from 10 different people, to get input from 10 different people, or even 5 people. Think if you want to get input from 5 people, and then you want to make a decision, but you want to be sure they're on board, going back. That takes up so much energy. Clear decisions are going to simplify also when you have to coordinate and discuss with other people. And honestly, it's going to reinforce your self-trust when you make decisions because you will have your own back and it will preserve your energy. So I really want you to think, what is the decision you are putting off? And I would love and encourage you to give yourself a deadline. That is the, I would say, simplest way to stop the waffling and stop all of the drama that's going on in your head. There is never a right decision. There are only decisions that you make right. Give yourself a date by when you will make that decision. Do it and move on. What I want for you in your new job is for you to have momentum, for you to build your authority, your credibility, and your self-trust early on. So please make the decision. Drop me a note. I would love to know also what decision you had been hesitating on that you decided to make. Believe me, it will clear up so much energy in your brain and allow you to do so much more. Have a great week, everyone.